you become wealthy? Like crazy. Got a building under contract at a certain price, empty. Call tenants, call tenants, call tenants until you're blue in the face. Until one of two things happen. You get a tenant interested that say, give me letter of intent, or until actually your contract is gonna run out. Remember, you have like 45 days or whatever. Either one. If the contract ran out, you have nothing to lose. You just walk away. If you got a tenant interested, based on what they're gonna pay, the building jumps in value. That's the first way to become wealthy. Show the contract to the bank. Tell the bank, look, I got the deal under contract for this price. I have this tenant coming in. Let's say you don't have the best credit. Now you tell the bank, look, my credit is not the best, but look at who is the tenant. You know what they give you now? Today. Before was one thing. We just finished 2009, 10, 11, 12. You couldn't do much if you had no credit. Today, as of 2013, listen carefully now, you can go in. You're broke, bankrupt, no money, no credit, no job, no income. You can't even digest when you eat your food. Like all kinds of problems. And you go to the bank and you say, this deal is under contract for X. I got a tenant that will take the value to Y. I don't have the money to put a down payment. The banks today give you the loan to purchase it. If there is a disparity, if there is a difference of 20% higher, give you the loan, and you have to sign a document called an assignment of rent in case of default. Now they copy that into a UCC, which is a universal commercial contract. They actually file it against the property. So if I get the rent and don't pay them, they don't have to wait 6 months or 3 months to foreclose on me. It is an immediate assignment of rent to them. It's a UCC filing. So it becomes a real estate mortgage filing and a UCC filing. Guys, I can take a broke person who never ever thought they could make money, make them $1 million in 1 year. I couldn't do that last year or the year before because they were not willing to do that. Now they're back into it. This is huge. But anyway, step number 1, get the tenant in, get the loan. When you get the loan, so you're getting it right here. What's happening as the rent increases every year? What happens to the value of the property? It goes up with the rental increase. It's a 10-year lease. 6 months before the lease expires, the tenant calls you and says, hi, I've been doing direct deposits in your bank account. I've been paying you on time, paying the tax, insurance, and maintenance. They have to tell you 6 months before the lease expires if they're gonna leave or they wanna renew. Is that beautiful? Now, what do you think a tenant that has been building rapport with the area, has already the employees and the whole thing up and running, what is the likelihood of the tenant renewing? 80%. If they renew, I started at $20,000 a month. Fast forward 9 years later, it's about $26,000 a month at that time. Did the value of the building increase? That's $72,000 more net a year. That means the building increased $1.2 million in 9.5 years, based on the formula of 6%. You see how you can become millionaire and it keeps compounding? So, frankly, I make more money when I don't do anything. When I come up to do stuff like this, I risk time, money, effort. But it's fun, I like to do it. But understand how it works. At $26,000, they're calling me and they're saying in 6 months the lease will expire. We're calling you to renew. We're paying you $26,000 now. Can we just increase 3% in the next 10 years? What do I say? Oh no, I cannot do that. I'd like you to pay $35,000, or I'd like you to pay $30,000. So when we renew, there is a big jump in rent. You understand? Now, when can I renew dramatically? When what happens? Inflation happens. You want the devaluation of the dollar to happen, you pray for it. If you have a commercial building, of course. Otherwise, you're not praying for that, right? You're praying for an easier life. But here, you're just praying for inflation. God, let there be inflation. I got now 15 buildings every Sunday. Like tomorrow, after we're done, I'm gonna go to church, write 15 candles, one for each building for inflation. So now, what happens when the inflation is so much, I can jack up the rent. All right? What if they tell me we want to leave? We're going to leave. Now I have a space remodeled, up and running, and I can call other tenants and say, how would you like to take over Puma? Who do I look for? Who is the competitor? Because it's going to dial in. Look, they already did all the work. They had to maintain the building as per the lease. They did all this. Come, I'll give it to you for 30. For them, it's worth maybe 35 a month. Why? Because they don't have to do what's called tenant improvement. They come into a space already fixed up. So say we're going to move it up to 30,000. Is that a nice jump? Another 4,000 a month times 12? That's what? That's 48,000. How much is the building value increasing? 48,000 divided by 0.06. Let's just do that for fun. 48,000 divided by 0.06 is another 800,000 increase. You look at yourself in the mirror. Oh, geez, I look the same, but I'm 800,000 wealthier. I don't know how that happened, right? And then what happens again? You got the 3% increase. 1, put the tenant in. 2, I call it sit on your butt investing. Do nothing. 3, increase the price of the lease when you actually renew. 4, continue sitting on your butt investing. Now, all in the meantime, all while the debt is getting paid down. It's getting paid down in 2 ways, in amount and in value. The entire system of the United States is to borrow money from China, Brazil, and other beautiful countries around the world. And the system works based on deflating the dollar. So today you borrow $1, you pay it later 90 cents, 80 cents, 70 cents, not because you just went down in the amount you owe, the price value of the dollar went down. Inflation is the best friend you could ever have, and people complain. People complain that the government is printing dollars. We are one of the very few countries in the world that can do that. Europe can't print dollars. Greece went down in the toilets and they could not print euros because it's a European Union. What union? It's a disaster. You know, people say we should go to the gold system. This is the gold is in the buildings. Even your business, you're gonna do business, put it in a building. Put the building here, the building has value based on the business. Now, I didn't want to run business, I don't want to run retail, but if you're good, do it. Just do this. Now I can launch businesses that are successful, and then I tell them, come into one of my buildings, I reduce your taxes because there is an added bonus. Puerto Rico just had another boost, which is the tax benefits. But when I put all this together and I pay 0 taxes, it's going to bring tears to your eyes. But we're going to save that to Puerto Rico. But you understand why I say Puerto Rico can save your life? It is the most powerful setup anybody can fantasize. And all I can tell you is, even Kevin, you heard Kevin when he came up, what did he say? I heard about Sharif, about the real estate stuff, about the tax stuff, but if you don't go publish yourself, do a profile on yourself, use the SEO stuff Jerry talked about, use the, all the pieces so you make yourself something and then tie it up with a building and you're done. You see the power of this? Can you see how it works?